Hey guys, this is Grimlok. I'm back again with some more monster videos. Today I'll be starting out with Barroth, who is another one of the lower level monsters. One thing I'll start out with saying is that Barroth has a couple key weaknesses. He usually starts out with a coating of mud on him, as you'll see soon here. And when he's got that mud on him, he's weak to water, and I believe that'll make the mud fall off quicker. But then once he doesn't have mud, then he's weak to fire, so I'll be using a fire sword here since you can knock the mud off pretty easily regardless. So Barroth will pretty much always start in room 3 here. You can see him underground. It's his ridge. And I personally like to use either longsword or switch axe on him. They both work very well. I could use either one just as easily, so that's what I like to use on him. And of course, as with pretty much any monster, you do not want to stay in front of him for very long at all, because the majority of his attacks will come out right in front of him, so you want to stay to his side. There's a few exceptions. He's got this move right here, where if you're at his side, you can still get hit by one of these mud balls. If you get hit by a mud ball, it'll put the mud debuff on you, which pretty well disables you until you get hit, or until about 10 or 15 seconds he will break off the mud around you. Usually one of your shock lockers will be kind enough to knock that mud off of him. So that right there was the main reason you want to stay out of the front of him, because he has this big charge attack that he will use a whole lot throughout the fight. So yeah, just make sure, like with any monster, just keep on moving, stay out of the front of him. And that's going to be your main tactic. I always start out with the tail. Try to hit the tail as much as I can. Be careful for this. It can hit you. The low rank version of Barroth, it won't really matter to get hit by that. Once you get up to G at least, that'll put the mud debuff on you if you get hit when he's rolling around like that. So there you go, I've hit the mud off of his tail. So now his tail will be weaker to fire. And so you can break that mud off, and you can also cut his tail off. And that brings me to the things that you can cut off of him. That is his tail. You can break all of the mud off of his body, so that's his hands, his stomach, his back, his tail, and his crown. You can break his hands, which usually break along with the mud. And then finally, I think it's impact damage only, but you can also break off the ridge on the front of his forehead. And that's another carvable along with the tail. So once again, I'll just start out working on the tail. Make sure to stay out of his way, because most of his attacks will come right in front of him. Be careful when you're moving out of the way of his charging attack, because if you're right next to him, at the end of it, his tail will swing across the back of him, and it can still hit you and knock you over, and pretty much waste a perfect opportunity to do some damage on that tail. Alright, so as you see, if he rolls into the mud, he can get the coating back on, but that doesn't give him, like, extra armor against, or it doesn't give him extra attacks before you can break his tail off, because as you saw there, he had that coating of mud, but I broke the mud and the tail off all at the same time, so that doesn't really set you back too far when he gets that mud. Once again, be careful when he's doing this. Try to stay further behind him. His weakest point for cutting damage after you've taken his tail off is his hands right here. So you'll want to focus mainly on his hands if you can, but make sure you're also being careful once you've taken the tail off. And so since I'm not using a hammer or anything, I'm not going to be able to take that head off, or his ridge, and his head is particularly strong, and unless you have really good sharpness and you're higher, then you're not going to just bounce off of it, which isn't good, because usually if you've bounced off of the front of him, he's going to get a free hit on you, which always sucks. So I'm just going to work on his legs, work on his hands. Once you've broken the mud off of his legs, he'll start falling over quite a bit, and you'll get a lot of free opportunities to do some damage to him. If you see him back up like that, like he just did, where he kind of does like a backwards shimmy, that usually means that he's going to do his charging attack, which is a pretty good signal to go ahead and get the heck out of the way. Alright, so he's falling over again. Good attempt, good opportunity to dish out a bunch of damage on him. Alright, so one of the Shakalakas stole my kill, which is kind of a dick move, but it's cool. Anyway, it was quick. If you're on this same level, it won't be that quick, but basically what you saw there was the entirety of the fight. As far as the rooms that he'll go to, he generally he'll always start in this room. You can find him in the room north of here, which is, I guess, 4 or something like that. Or he'll also go into the room east of here. And those are the 3 main rooms that you will fight him in. Occasionally you'll see him go into the room west of 4, which is, it escapes me right now. This first fire room, or this first hot room over here. You'll see him in here every once in a while, but very rarely. Usually just 1, 3, and that room on the east of 3 is where you'll find him. So, that's pretty much the broad strokes of Barroth. Just use those tactics, and I think he'll be pretty successful against him. Once again, he's one of the easier monsters. But, there you have it. I'll be doing a few more of these videos today. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any special requests for other monsters. I'll be glad to do them. I'm hoping to get all the monsters done eventually. But, comment on this video if you have any questions or any requests. And I will see you guys later. Thanks.